Welcome to the Loud Quiet. Ooh, empty nester. Okay. What does that mean?
Yeah, I think that actually probably is the theme of the empty nest. What are we doing? Let's do this. Let's do this thing. I don't know if I'm recording. Yeah. Okay.
Great. Sans children. Just us. We need a tissue box up here. Follow along on our journey and maybe, we can learn from others.
Yeah. I don't have a clue how to be empty nester.
This is the Loud Quiet, living the empty nest.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 33 of The Loud Quiet. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Again, 33 episodes, and here we are recording another episode of The Loud Quiet. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one so it's Monday after Easter.
Yeah.
We usually record on Sunday when we're dressed for church. I've done my hair. So yes, I have wet hair, don't care. And so
we are debating if that's going to be the title.
I mean, you texted me later in the day today and you said, okay, I'm going to leave a little early so we can get home and record. I was like, oh no, I forgot we were recording today because I was in the midst of laundry, getting food ready for this week, doing all, trying to get back. When you get back on Sunday.
Yeah.
The
glamour of living the empty nest on display right here in front of everyone. Yeah. It turns amazing when your kids leave, right? Everything's just suddenly different.
Cocktails and dinner out every night. No. We're about to have turkey smoked sausage and
yum.
We thought that we'd talk this weekend since it was Easter. Some of our past traditions, how things have changed, and what we did this weekend. Hope everyone had a great Easter and just got to spend some nice quality time with family. And I do think that is one Easter and Christmas too. But I know Easter because I have several friends who don't go to church at all, but they still celebrate Easter because they celebrate the non-religious aspects of it.
And it is so family. And like you said, Christmas is family, Thanksgiving is family. And it could be just because that's what I think of Easter and I think of family, right? Yeah. It's getting everybody together. And maybe it's because, no, actually, I don't have a good reason. It always feels like a family gathering.
And I think a lot of stores acknowledge Easter over some of the other holidays. It seems like everything is pretty much
There's
closed.
A lot of things still closed. The Target was closed. Costco was closed. Pick your grocery stores.
Which
and that
they
kind of
are
stuff
on
still.
Christmas Day too, but Easter to some people is not a holiday,
Right.
So there you go. So that's we're just gonna
talk Easter,
about Easter.
Talk Easter, talk traditions, talk the changing of traditions. Yeah. And that's what, when we were talking about that I think I've mentioned here on the show, if not, I grew up in a faith-oriented family. We went to church. It was part of our rhythm. We always went to church. And yet, and I didn't think this was weird, we never went to church on Easter.
And I remember when you told me that the first time, I was like, what are you talking about? Because I knew your family. And I was like, because both of your grandmothers are very strong believers. Your mom, your dad, your whole family, but your grandmothers, and the one in particular whose house y'all would go to, I was shocked that y'all didn't go to Easter service.
So, and that's where, Easter for me growing up was we had family. So my dad's mom, so my Nana, she grew up in Quitman, Texas. Quitman is where Mama and Papai, so my great-grandparents lived. So when I talk about Mama and Papai, that's the generation I'm talking about. We would go to Quitman. So imagine this being small Texas town, and then not even being the house in town. This was a house on the edge of town that had a tank out back where you could fish, land to walk across. As I got older, and by older, I mean like 11 or 12 years old, get in the pickup truck and drive around town type thing. That's what we did. And so we wasn't just my immediate nuclear family. It was Nana's children and their children would converge on this house. And it amazes me to think about it now, how persnickety I can be about, okay, wait, no, let's all go to a hotel or something like that. How many people we shoved into this house. Easter, though, was about getting together, eating, hunting for Easter eggs, and then just enjoying being in the country and being there with family. Not, and maybe I have this kind of vague, fuzzy memory, maybe when I was 4 or 6, something like that, that we went to a church in Quitman. But for us to have grown up, so we're the opposite of the Christmas and Easter only family. That our tradition was
CEOs.
not. Yeah, we're the anti CEOs. I don't know. We're the we're like anti capitalists. I don't know what that is, but we did not go to church. It was just a family gathering around Quitman to get together with a family.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. I loved it. Great memories from there. Not church memories.
And I know we did Easter egg hunts. We obviously went to church, and the thing I remember about Easter was always finding your dress to wear to church. That's what I remember, is getting the dress, getting the white shoes. Sometimes I think I had a couple of times that I wore little white gloves. So, and I think I did have a couple of hats certain times. So
Did you?
I remember the shopping and that aspect. And yes, my mom obviously always cooked, and so we enjoyed that, which, continued as our kids got.
Did you, so growing up when you were doing that, were y'all always at your house?
Yeah, I don't remember ever traveling for Easter or doing anything. Yeah.
No other town?
Because we, again, were the one part of our family that lived away from everybody else. And
Yeah.
so there would be no time to drive all the, at that point, one of my they were still alive, but yeah, and sometimes I do remember them coming to us,
Yeah.
but we did not do a huge family gathering. At Christmas time we did, because those were my cousins. We would always go back there, but Easter, no, because, that was just not, I think that was probably before the times you had Friday and Monday off. You probably just had Saturday, Sunday
Right.
off.
And so trying to get from, for you, the extended family would have been in Arkansas, right?
I
So
mean,
that's
and
a
from
pretty
San
out.
Antonio, that would have been a 13-hour trip
Yeah.
or whatever.
Now, I
So,
will say I have some very strong
Or
memories
10.
of those drives from Austin to Quitman, which there were two choices. You either went up through, did the interstates, because you could drive, the big roads through Dallas, or 79 cutting through East Texas. And that's where I learned both I think the skill at doing it and the ability to just squash your fear when it comes to passing on a 2-lane road in East Texas, because I guarantee that my dad cut it close on some of those passing moves. And I'm sure that when you've been in the passenger seat, when I've been driving, there's probably been some white knuckle moments of, that car's coming fast, get over, get over. It is.
There's white knuckle moments just when we're trying to get to the airport on the tollway. So,
Hang on. Come on now.
no, you like to drive my car and weave in and out of every little spot that you can get
No,
into.
that's not fair. We're exaggerating a little bit here.
Okay.
But the passing, it was so there's an Easter memory is being able to pass on those roads. The fact that y'all gathered at your house and always did that is what kind of kept going with our family, our family, and then our kids.
Yes.
What Easter was before the kids left.
I mean, they still, like I said, we'll get into our Easter this year because it was different. But, up until last year, they still do it. My dad still hides eggs, and each kid has their own color of egg. And there's three, Tanner, Tegan, and Carter. And they, go and hunt their color of egg. And then we do the cascarones, which,
Wait,
are
you may need to describe that for.
That's okay. So yes, if you don't know what those are, it's the confetti filled eggs. And so yes, there's always confetti. I mean, when Tegan had her super long hair, she'd be finding confetti in her hair even after she showered for days.
Yeah.
It's just so
You'd find it in clothes after the fact.
and they, we actually talked this weekend about them missing BB's ham and mashed potatoes and that kind of thing. So
Your dad would always do such a good job of hiding those. Well, sometimes he did a really, really good job.
Yeah,
of
because
hiding.
then no one could remember where they were. And I actually saw a meme about that said, I'm getting at the age now that I hide the eggs, and then it doesn't matter because I don't even know if I can find.
Yeah, I'm old enough that I can find my own eggs that I hid. He would graduate the difficulty of the eggs based off of the age of the kid, and those are the touches that I will remember. Obviously, I know our kids will remember that. Just getting, it's that cementing of family traditions. Duh, right? I mean, it's not like I'm really getting deep in sociology here. It just, those are the things that connect us to Tanner and Tegan. It's what connects Tanner and Tegan to their BB and Pop Pop. It's what connects me to the memories of my Nana and my mama and my extended family.
Yeah.
These are,
and we have two, Tegan and my mom's birthdays are 4 days apart, and they're early April. So a lot of times Easter fell either on one of their birthdays or around. So we've also done birthday celebrations on, I can think of Tegan with her Sweet 16 balloons at my mom's house, and I made them both a cake that was, because it was my mom's birthday the next week. So we've incorporated that into some celebrations as well. And, a couple of years ago, we did go out to Tanner's sophomore year. We decided to go out there because Arizona doesn't, it's not Baylor. They don't get Friday and Monday off.
Right.
He gets nothing off. So there's no way that he could get back to Dallas and back, so
because Tegan being in high school at the time had the days
so
off.
we could travel.
We were able. It was just easier for the three of us to travel, and that felt weird because you and I both grew up in a tradition of being at home. Or at homes. Even Quitman was still home.
But being at my parents' house, because that's where we were. I mean, besides COVID, because COVID year we couldn't, so we catered in here, and it was just the four of us.
Yeah.
But then that was the first year that we have not been to my parents' house since the kids were. We moved into this house, and even before that. So in Flowermont, since Tegan was probably born.
Right.
That's
so the only tradition they knew, and by extension, the traditions that we knew were it felt weird.
The first time.
Felt good though. Like one of the things that I liked about that very first one was, and this is weird coming from the guy that said we never went to church, but we made sure we found a church that was up there. And it was actually an opportunity to help maybe a college kid, hey, there's this church thing that is a part of who you are and your heritage. And it was, especially with him being in college that year, and we'll talk about it again, what this trip was like, being able to be all together. So while we couldn't be all together at your parents' house, which I delight in and love, it was really great to be able to at least have, because I don't know that we could have gotten, yes, of course we could have, but the difficulty level of getting him back.
Well, and getting them both back this year.
Well, I was talking about sophomore year.
Yeah, yes. And it also is nice now that churches have gone to Saturday services for Easter.
You betcha.
Because that was not a thing when I was growing up.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
I don't remember. Yeah, you weren't there.
What?
It didn't matter to you.
Church? I thought
you ungodly man.
I bet you in my kid mind, I probably thought that it was a church holiday.
Yeah.
I bet you I might have even thought that the churches
closed.
took off.
Nice. For Easter.
Oh, I wish I could go back and ask my little 6 to 9-year-old brain or something like that.
I'd be interested to know. It'd be interesting to see what your mom's perspective was on that, because I know your mom and I know your mom's mom.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if that was a battle.
It.
That'd be interesting to know. But anyways, so what I was talking about is that, now it's nice that there's Saturday services. And we actually, once that started, we opted going to those. And sometimes because we would
serving on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
But other times because they do like regular people to come, because Easter is a big visiting holiday for people to try church. So, but yeah, we love this. And there were some Saturday services, and then Sunday morning, it was nice to just get up and have, the Easter baskets here and then head to my parents. So, and it has worked for us when we have been out in Phoenix.
Yeah, and that's what this. So the junior year, when just to quickly talk on that one, we did get to experience back with your parents. It was weird. Tanner was in Japan.
Yeah, so it was
and
still weird.
there was a part of me that wished that he would have gone to a Japanese Easter service. What would that have been like to be in Japan? I think he was even traveling that
Yeah,
weekend
maybe.
outside of his home base of Kyoto. So, but we were able to go back to our traditional style minus Tanner last year. But this year, Tegan is a freshman at University of Arizona, as listeners and viewers who certainly know, and then Tanner, a senior at Arizona State. Well, that's an hour and a half away from each other. It's not easy to get both of them back on a school that is a Friday active class day. So we were like, let's go out to Arizona again.
Yeah, and I don't think there was ever even a question that we would do that. We had already planned that,
I'm sure we did.
before. Yeah.
There had to have
And
been a moment that we were like, we are doing it.
And especially
still.
they both, even as a senior, Tanner complains, that he has Friday classes. Well, Japanese, yes, he has on Friday. So,
Yeah.
and Tegan does have classes both on Friday. So, yeah, there would have been, yes, we could have done it. It would not have been pleasurable for anyone to get them back here. So we flew into Tucson on Friday. And right around the time, she was finishing up all of her gym and laundry and that kind of stuff.
I was laughing about Denver, but yes, we did eventually make it to there. Oh my gosh.
So, yeah,
travel is fun.
Connections or not, but yes. So
Clancy and I are very fast at getting to airports, even if we may have sacrificed a few people along the way to get between literally, not exaggerating, one end of the airport to the other airport. If you've been to Denver, you know how long that is. But we did make it to Tucson. Yeah. And it was nice because we made it there 2:30, something like that. She was wrapping up stuff, like you said, just getting out of the gym, getting done with laundry.
Yeah, and we were like, okay, what do you need to do? Target. Okay. So, and for those of you who have been listening along the way, Tegan did get to move. I think we talked about that, from her not so great situation. So yeah,
her roommate not so great situation.
Yeah.
Let's be
her
real
roommate,
clear for those that are new listeners.
So
she had an unpleasant roommate situation. She's in a phenomenal
and so
situation
here
now.
she is in her new room. I was like, you're going to be one of the few people that have two pictures,
first day of class, but two.
First year pictures. Yeah. So she loves her new dorm. Actually, really likes her new dorm. Loves her new roommate, which. We were like, oh, do we get to meet her? And she said, oh, she just ran out to go do errands. So we're like, oh, okay. So picked her up, went to Target, and then we came out of Target and she said, oh, I meant to get something else. And we're like, well, Walmart's right around the corner. We'll just run into Walmart. So, I mean, we are walking into Walmart, chit-chatting, talking, and we hear this, Tegan, and we turn around. It's her new roommate. So going into Walmart. So we got to meet her. She's very pleasant, super sweet. Just
talking
very
to us,
nice. Yeah,
good. Yes. And she was staying with her because she's their local.
Yeah,
so
she was
doing
going
Easter
home
with her family.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was just fun, and to see, even without the words or anything, just to see the smiles that existed. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're unlikely to be lifetime friends or anything like that. To see that last little piece that Tegan needed to make a college experience complete and happy was there. And we got to see it by going into her room like you just showed, which it's actually, I'm glad she moved dorms. It's an older dorm, but I kind of like this situation a lot better. The room is great, where she is location-wise. And so that all of that just being able to be brought together made us feel great here on Friday, the first getting there and just seeing that.
Just seeing her, like you said, she was already happy. She was had a great first semester, great friends, as we've talked about. But this time you could just see there was just a different air around her. And so, it was nice to see that. So, went to Target. We came back and hung out in our hotel until it was time to go and pick up some of her friends, and then the other ones were meeting us. So we went and...
Well, I had a strong hand in choosing the restaurant here because we talked about last week, those of you that haven't heard last week's episode, but it was the Madness of March, and so that's very basketball oriented. Well, Duke advanced to the Sweet 16. Duke didn't get the Thursday game, they got the Friday game. Well, that meant that we were going to truly be at dinner at the exact time of the Duke game. So
Yeah.
my only request was, can we have a place with TVs?
Yeah.
And we did. We found Yard
Oh,
House.
yeah. And it was great. The
Perfect.
food was great. Fit all of
Great
I mean,
place
it
for
was,
a big
yeah,
the
it
group
was
that we had of
tons
7.
of TVs.
Yeah.
I was
And
telling
Duke actually beat Houston,
Yes.
so yay.
and I was telling Rick it was so funny because one of the boys that we have come to know now because he always comes with us. And he said, "Oh yeah, my mom's mad. Her bracket, her teams didn't make it in." And Tegan was like, "Oh, what are your mom's teams?" And he said, "Well, North Carolina." And Tegan goes, "Oh!" She like put her finger up to her lips. She's like, "No, no, no! Don't talk about that in front of my dad." Because Rick had gone in to go to the bar or the bathroom or something, and,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh," and I said, "It's fine." Is it? And Tegan goes, "He went to Duke," and this
I
kid,
did ask. Oh, well.
and this kid was like, "Well, my cousin goes to North Carolina, so that's why my mom, and we."
I did ask y'all later though. Y'all did back away from that
Yes,
as opposed to leaving me with like,
Yeah.
wait, this cliched sports dad is forcing us to go eat at a place that has TVs. He doesn't allow me to talk about Carolina. No.
This is the kid who stayed because the game was finishing in the car as we were dropping him off. And he was like, "Oh, can we stay and listen to it?" So yeah, no, he was fine. But so yeah, it was great. Had a great time. Got to meet one of her friends that we hadn't met yet. Super sweet. All just again, I just love her kids and the support that they all give to each other. And they're fun. They're funny. They're just really a good group of kids. So.
So that leaves us, go home. Then Saturday we drive up to Tempe with Tegan with us, and we actually talked about recording as we've done the road trip. Y'all that are listeners and viewers have seen our road trip videos. We decided not to this time, especially with Tegan in the back, and that was good to get up there. And then it was the 4 of us together, and we were initially thinking about doing some grad photos or whatever. It didn't quite work out, but we did some grocery shopping and that sort of thing. And then we went to a sandwich shop that we like. And that was the place where I kind of had this moment of, I looked around and thought, there's no reason why when you send 2 kids off to school that you should be able to just easily gather as a family and it just felt normal and good. And the family that we had pre-empty nest, here it was this moment to get the 4 of us together. And I even said it to the table. I said, do you realize how lucky we are that we can just come together here? And I know you kids may at some point be like, okay, mom and dad, it's time for y'all to go. I know that y'all remember these family moments. And we hadn't even done, quote, Easter yet.
And I do. We've probably mentioned it, but I love Tanner and Tegan's relationship because they have a lot of things in common, but then they are total opposites
so
on, certain things. But she told me, she said, I was even talking to one of my friends the other day about how she has a brother the same age, and she was talking about how they're close. And Tegan said, "Oh my gosh, yeah, my brother and I are really close. We text back and forth. They read each other's papers. It warms my heart how connected they have stayed and hopefully will stay and rely on each other. I mean, they leave, there's things that we aren't privy to, probably their conversations that they have, even.
And it's not even necessarily bad or,
No,
they're
no.
talking about stuff that, I can't talk to my parents, because they actually can talk to us about
No.
that stuff. It's just the insider ball that they can talk to each other about being in college or the topics that they care about.
Well, and I even made the point of Tanner just didn't seem himself that morning. And when we dropped him off, I was commenting to you, and Tegan goes, "Oh, well, he told me he had to take cold medicine last night because they had one of the roommates' parents' dog was staying with them, and she said he's super allergic to it." And so I was like, "Oh," so he was kind of still coming.
Yeah, he just had
he leaned over and told me he was still coming off of the cold medicine. We're sitting there going, is he hungover? No, he was on.
Or is he stressed about it?
Yeah, there's a lot of things, and we can talk about that when we get to dinner with his roommates. But so she knew, she filled us in on what was going on with them. So yeah, that was good. And yeah, we just had a nice afternoon. Then we all went back to change to get ready for Easter service. And
Which we do this at for those that, if there's a listener in the Arizona area and specifically the Valley, we go to Scottsdale Bible. This is we are veterans, right? We've been twice.
Yeah.
So I know nothing really about it, but it just was such a great experience to bring the family there.
high energy music. The pastor is very good, very almost like a teaching pastor. We've enjoyed the 2 sermons we've heard of his.
Yes.
Have been really good, and both on Easter. But I enjoy that church and the vibe. I don't know that I could be a regular attender there.
Well, like
but-
we've been twice on Easter.
Yeah,
That's like
but-
the service on steroids.
Sure. So, anyways, but this was the weirdest Phoenix weather though that we have ever had. We've never had wind. Now, when we
A
visited
light
Tegan,
sea breeze,
yes,
you might say. in the
And
desert.
I will say, when we've been to Tucson a few times, we have commented, "Gosh, it's really windy here." Not like North Texas, but this was like North Texas crazy. I mean,
Blow your car around.
we tried to take a picture outside, and for those of y'all listening, I mean, you'd think I wore my hair to the side. No, that's the wind blowing.
That's your Beyonce wind machine.
Tegan's is
Yeah, I see
blowing
it.
up in the air.
My hair's blowing. Never mind.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was so windy, so then we went inside. And
Now
got,
I do what?
what?
Notice how blue that sky is.
Yeah,
This is-
it was beautiful, sunny. It
temperature's
was just the
perfect.
wind, yeah.
yeah.
So then we got a better one inside where our hair is not going crazy. So, and it was so funny because I knew what you were wearing. You didn't know what I was wearing, and then Tegan, we bought this dress at American Eagle like before she even went to school last summer. And so we were all, and then Tanner came out to get in the car. I was like, oh, good. You got the memo. I mean, we were all kind of color coordinated. It looks very nice. We're all in our pastels for Easter. So
You would think that Clancy coordinated.
I know,
and
but
she
I
had
did not. And someone asked me that today. They're like, oh, did y'all? And I said, no, I didn't like send out wear pink or purple. No, it just all ended up that that's what we
nice.
wore. So
and it really was a great service. Great to be with the family.
Yeah.
Just, that's just to be there
with
the family.
And I find myself, you had your moment at lunch. I find myself getting emotional when they're on either side of me at church, and you know.
You didn't see there was a tear that leaked out of my eye. No, there actually was. So it
Trying to get the Jesus back into those
well,
kids.
hey kids, how was it? What'd you think of it? Tanner's like, that was a really good message. So you hear phrases like that.
Yeah.
You know, the seeds are there.
Yeah.
The seeds are there. So then what do we do after church? We go have a big old Italian meal with his roommates, and Uncle Sal's, we talked about it before, but it's just great to see his friends and Tegan there. And yes, there's Negronis, there's wine, there's pasta. We are celebrating Easter. We are celebrating friends in a festive way.
And and the waitress even asked, she said, oh, are y'all celebrating? We're like, well, we're here for Easter, but you know, all these boys are about to graduate. So, and so then she was asking, oh, what's everybody doing after college? And I wish I would have taken a picture, because when the 3 came in that were meeting us there, I was like, it looked like the Backstreet Boys had just walked in, because they had been at a white party. And I so wish I would have taken a picture of Tanner and his backup dancers.
It reminded me of the Blink 182 video that's making fun
Men of the Backstreet
of
Boys,
that. So even more.
Because they came in and I was like, where have y'all been? And they're like, oh, we're at a white party. So, but it's fun listening to them talk about what their next things are going to be. And you can tell the stress is bubbling there a little bit, because, you know, you think, oh, senior year, I should be done. Well, all 4 of these boys are in the honors college. So they all have a thesis that, you know, Tanner said, that's the most I've written ever. And so he had just submitted his. The other 3, I think, have submitted theirs too. But, you know, he has to defend his thesis later this week. And so you can tell there's things that I think he wanted the last semester of senior year to be blow off, and it's not. So,
No. And I remember even that about my senior year is it wasn't a blow off. These are still college classes, and there's upper level and sometimes even graduate level. So the classwork does not go down, and that's different than high school. That you can kind of blow high school off. What does the relief starts? It's probably this intersection of a graph where the relief will start to kick in right about the time that the anxiety kicks in of. I've built these relationships with these people across 4 years, and that will definitely need to be an episode for the future as we watch them going through that.
But it is fun because we've known these boys now. You know, they were freshman roommates and they've roomed together in some form or fashion. Now they're all back together senior year. And so, you know, these boys have bonds that they'll be bonded for life. And they're just, again, great boys, great families. So it was fun getting to talk about, you know, listening to them be like, oh, graduation week, it's going to be so much fun. And then we're all going to Vegas and we're doing, you know, so it's just, it was fun listening to.
Did you go to Vegas for your graduation year?
No, I don't.
No, I went to North Hilton Head.
I did study abroad Europe that summer. So that was, and then, no, I graduated in December and started working in January. So, no.
Yeah, that'll be it. We will need to talk about that. What was our summers when we see what he goes through and see what that was like.
Yeah, so that was a good.
And flew back the next day. Yeah. There's nothing much to that. Just nasty cold weather, which was strange.
I mean, rain and cold, but it was nice because we had already done our Easter.
Sorry to all of those of you.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad and I know back here it wasn't the greatest weather either, but took Tegan back home, and she treated us in quotations to goodies at her little market that, you know, we pay for.
Thank you for allowing me to spend my money, Tegan. I appreciate it.
What did our Easter lunch consist of?
Oh.
Cheez-Its,
no,
protein
you don't
bar.
Get to claim the Cheez-Its.
No, okay,
you were
I'm
healthy.
Just listing everything. I ate the Cheez-Its too. Protein bar, popcorn, Cheez-Its.
No, mine were Cheez-Its, Heath bar, and some
trail
mountain mix. But I didn't even finish that. I ate the Cheez-Its and the Heath bar and a Diet Dr. Pepper.
So that was our
That's why we
Easter
did Uncle
meal.
Sal's the night before.
Yeah. So, but I put a text when we already talked about from Tanner, but you know, as soon as, like I said, when we got to Tegan, it was, I need to go to Target. And then when we were driving to Tempe to see Tanner. I know. I said, you know what? He hasn't asked for his cheeky grocery store run.
As he said before, yes.
So I texted him. I said, do you have any errands? Oh, absolutely, some groceries. So we went to Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's we go to spend our money.
Yeah. It's all right. There's not, I mean, like we realized, we're only out there 2 more times.
Yeah.
So
I know, and I was telling Tegan about the grocery shopping. You're right, though. When we were leaving the Hilton Garden Inn, we were like,
"Yeah, we won't," because our lady that we know, she's like, "Oh, hey, I didn't see y'all earlier today." We're like, "Oh yeah," but that was probably the last time we're staying there.
One more, but we got one more.
But you know, when we were sitting there at dinner, I said, Tegan, you know, now it'll just be your weekend. And Tanner goes, oh, that's the best, because then you get all the. And she said, oh yeah, I know, I get all the meals. So
I still, and we'll have to talk about this. I do not want to give up on Phoenix because I love Phoenix. So we'll have to find a way to
up, but we're not gonna fly into Phoenix maybe on a Thursday and then head to her on Friday.
I need my sushi holic.
Yeah. No.
So it was good to see them. It was a good Easter weekend. Traditions that change, right? You know, traditions have a way of evolving. This tradition, even as an empty nest, we're trying to find ways to make it family. And I do. I want it to be with BB and Pop Pop and have that ongoing in the future as well. When we can't make that happen, I want these traditions, even as they evolve, to still stick with family, even as we've entered this phase.
And it's interesting to see, you know, I'm not sure what we'll do next year. We have one that's still making a decision about some things, and so it'll be interesting.
By golly,
to see.
We're going to get if we're all domestic, we're going to get us all together somehow. Mm-hmm. Japan
I hope we're all domestic. I don't see anybody doing that next year, but.
I didn't tell you about that client.
Well, okay.
I've got a client in Nepal that you and I need to.
All right. For next Easter. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. All right.
I think we'll find a way to get all of us together.
Oh well, yeah, we'll figure out something.
Well, Easter traditions. Another moment to be explored on the Loud Quiet,
Living
Living
the
the Empty
Empty
Nest.
Nest.